Hey guys, it's Alexis, and I want to start off this video by saying thank you guys so much for being patient with me. I've had a lot going on in my personal life, not relating to Amberlyn, and I've also been working a lot, but I keep getting comment after comment after comment on my TikTok saying, when's the next video? And I'm like, okay, I know, hold on, please. But the wait is over. So today I am going to be answering some repeat questions that I haven't answered yet, but I'm also going to be responding to a couple things that Amberlyn said in her last live stream. So from the wise words of our favorite girl, shit's about to go down, wear a seatbelt and a helmet, light up a blunt because it's about to get crazy.
Alexis doesn't bring receipts.
Okay, guys, so apparently I don't bring receipts. So I feel like I'm gonna have to really step it up in this one. Also, what are you talking about? And if this is the way that we're supposed to show receipts around here, I guess I have been doing it all wrong. Also, just regarding that specific screenshot, I just want to say that the Venmo transaction, the alleged Venmo transaction, was a Christmas gift. Also, who the fuck cares about what I'm spending it on? I also spent my parents' Christmas gift on bills too. I'm sorry that some of us have to actually go outside of our homes and can't just show up to work once a week drunk and make thousands of dollars. Okay, I'm sorry that that is not the reality for me and a lot of other people.
I only drink once a week. It's part of my job now. They're buzz balls, by the way.
Anyways, next.
So I did speak to someone who was 20. I'm gonna downright say it. And like her lying that like I didn't know Abby, like her saying that I knew Abby's 20, a lie.
Okay, so you guys have been telling me I need to read my screenshots out loud, so I'm gonna start doing that right here, right now. So Amberlyn said, Abby is talking about when I come to visit her. And I said, how many are you meeting? And she said, she sounds so excited, ha 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 ha. And I said, why am I, your best friend, not being visited? But some Bible-thumping 20-year-old is? I'm blocking you and your middle part. And she said, laddie, because I was in a relationship at the time and I told her to stop calling me daddy. And then I said, enough, because I was so sick of it. Like, just shut up. Anyways, the first thing I want to say about this is, you know well that you would not go flying to, I don't remember where Abby lives, but it is not in a state close to Amberlyn. But anyways, you would not fly to some random state if you weren't romantically interested in seeing someone. Because I was your supposed best friend and for over a year, and the only time you ever tried to see me was when you needed a ride to Oklahoma and when you were sending me explicit videos trying to talk me out of my drawers over the internet and with Cookiegate and other things that I won't re-mention. Because I think you thought that I would be like,
My pants will be off in 2.2 seconds.
But then you realized that I wasn't just going to be another one of your girls. So then you lost interest in seeing me again. I also just want to mention that nowhere in this text message or this entire conversation did Amberlyn ever refute the fact that Abby was 20, even though I literally said that she was.
We were solely just friends.
Right. And I'm the Easter Bunny. So, say we're living in a fantasy world, and you knew or thought that Abby really was 25. Don't you think that's still quite the age gap?
Okay, that's like a 6-year difference.
Right. 6 years. Anyways, this topic is not that important, but I did want to address that. So the first question is, do you have any justice for Beck coming? I'm extremely curious on what has happened to Beck during their relationship. So if you haven't seen this video yet, and some of you may not have because it was released today, August 16th, I would highly suggest watching this video if you have any further questions about Beck and her relationship with Amber. Also, this is on Karina Kaboom's channel. And there wasn't a whole lot of questions on this video, but this was also just part 1, and I'm assuming Karina will release the other part or parts either tomorrow or later this weekend.
That's one of the things that Alexis was saying that I was like saying bad things about. Literally, no.
So this question asks, did Amber say anything to you about Beck's new partner? So Amberlynn said she didn't know anything about Beck's new partner when I mentioned it to her, but then she asked to see the post, and I had made a comment like, "Aw, Becky looks so good, and their partner is like really hot." And needless to say, she did not appreciate that comment, but she didn't speak on either of them in that very moment.
Where?
No, seriously. Where? Where did I say you had a whole bunch of bad things to say about them? So the second question that I want to address is, ever since you turned, do you get scared when you see an Oklahoma license plate? Amber might be following you. And this question is in reference to,
there was a Pennsylvania license plate in front of Amberlynn's apartment and she thought it was Jordy. No, never happened. Never happened a day in my life. Secondly, Alexis, you know what? Let me just do it for you. Alexis literally paid to find out all of Jordy's information. I'm telling you.
okay, so first of all, you were terrified that you were being stalked by Jordy or someone that Jordy paid. And that is why you asked me to find the information about him so you could reach out to him and ask him. Secondly, I never paid for anything. Everything that I found online was public phone book websites. And when we had this conversation, we were on the phone. I already looked for text messages. And I do have the screenshots of what I sent her, but I don't want to show the screenshots to show what website that I found this information on because I don't want to out Jordy and his public information. Public information, by the way, I did not and would not pay for his information. More importantly, I've already talked to Jordy about this, so whatever. But do you know who was there to witness this conversation? Jade was. So you better hope that she continues to want to stay behind closed doors when it comes to you, because I'm sure that if she didn't, she would love to confirm everything that I'm saying, including the allegation that you hit her, that you refuse to speak about. You'll talk about other things relating to Jade, but you refuse to touch on the subject where you hit her. So that's really, 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 really interesting, Amberlynn. Also, I just want to add that I don't owe Jade anything. She told you to not talk about her. She never told me to not talk about her. So if you're gonna talk about her, you might as well touch on the subject where you technically committed domestic violence. But knowing you, you're just gonna go ahead and keep this one under the rug.
Fuck.
So this next question is, wait, so are you and her friends again? Absolutely no, we're not friends again. And I will never be friends with her again, especially if she is still with Emily. That's a hard no for me, dog. That is my boundary. I am not budging. I do not care. Which is why I said in one of my videos, Amberlynn, do not move to Wisconsin if you're not sure that Emily is not going to screw you over. Because I'm not going to come pick you up and save you. I'm not. I'm simply not. Now, I know in her live stream, she had answered a question saying that she missed me.
Do I miss Alexis? Yeah. I bet Alexis misses you. Yeah.
So after I saw this, I did unblock her and I did text her. And here's what I said. Because, I do miss her. But I also can miss someone and still not agree with what they're doing and with what they're saying and think that they're not a good friend to me. So then after I texted her, it immediately turned into her crying. But if you loved me and valued me as much as you proclaim that you do, why wouldn't you just do everything that you could to keep me around when you had me around? I do feel bad that she's sad. I do feel bad that she feels like I betrayed her. I do experience sad emotions when it comes to Amberlynn. I'm not just some heartless that doesn't care. And I feel like a lot of people think that. I do care. But there's also a lot of things that she says and does, whether it's to me or to other people, that I'm not okay with, and I haven't been okay with. And a lot of people in my comments are like, well, you were friends with her up until this, you were friends with her up until, Tommy. Yes, but you guys act like I wasn't saying things behind closed doors. You guys have no idea what we talked about. Me and her were on the phone for 5, 6, 7 hours a day. Like, we talked about a lot. And when that whole thing with Casey came up, the Mr. Snowball or Snowflake or whatever, when that whole thing came up, I felt so bad for her. But at the same time, I was like, dude, but like, you did these things. And yes, I did publicly defend her quite a lot, but you have no idea what I said to her when there wasn't a camera in my face or her face, okay? And just because you're friends with somebody doesn't mean you automatically condone and accept everything that comes with them. And speaking of things that I don't agree with, this is another prime example of me calling her out, not publicly, privately, and her still being absolutely delusional. So she says, I'm in love with someone who genuinely loves me for me. And I said, you're delusional. And she said, why can't you ever just be happy for me? She's never ever done anything to hurt me. She's only made me feel safe and loved. Which is absolutely not true. Do you know how many hours I had to sit on the phone with this girl because she didn't want to be alone, because Tommy was being absolutely awful to her, ignoring her, telling her she doesn't want to talk to her, telling her she misses her ex who has passed away. And in the meantime, responding to people and talking poorly about Amberlynn to these random people on Instagram. And you have the balls to sit here and tell people she, and me including, she is so amazing and she's never done anything to hurt you. You are a liar. Anyways, so I follow that up with, because she's lied to you and is mean to you and gaslights you. She's literally a psych nurse. She can do it better than anyone. She preys on you because you're vulnerable. And then I said, you are a liar. And then she proceeds to say, wow, we will never see eye to eye on this. I love you, but you're hurting me. I said, you cry about her every single day. Why are you being so blind right now? And she said, I've only ever cried because she was such in a low mental health space. This has never happened before she was Zach's, and you literally know that. And I said, that's not true. And she said, yes, it is. And then I said, she lied about how much she knew about you and was watching reaction channels. It happened right in my face on FaceTime. You admitted it when we talked about it privately, when you asked why I didn't like her. Not once did she ever refute anything that I was saying. Not once in this entire conversation did she say, no, that never happened. And then she immediately started doing what she does best and started deflecting and said, Alexis, you've genuinely hurt me. And I was like, you haven't hurt me. Every time you get a new girlfriend, I'm on the back burner. Unless her and that girlfriend aren't doing well, and then she's flirting with me, and then she likes me again. You guys genuinely have no idea how much this woman has hurt me. And you can think I'm an awful person, that's fine. But you will never know the full story, and you will never know the things that I had to go through for her. She did not love me. She did not care about me. I was always a second option. Always a second option. And she never prioritized me the way that I prioritized her, and I will stand on that forever. And you can sit there and say that I'm bitter and say this and say that. Maybe I am. Maybe I am bitter because I did so much and I went through so much. And for what? For what? This is also why it takes me so long to make these videos. Not only because I'm actually editing, unlike somebody, but this is also very emotionally toiling for me, okay? And I realize nobody said I had to take this all to YouTube, but I wanted to. I wanted to. She can't just sit here and hurt people and hurt all of her girlfriends and hurt all of her friends and not have a single person stand up and say something. And if I've taught her anything in this entire relationship, is that maybe she should think before she speaks. And maybe she should see people for their actual value and not because they're attractive or not because of what they can do for her. Maybe Amberlynn should actually love the people that love her. And I did love her. A lot. A lot. Sometimes more than anyone or anything else in my life. But I am realizing now I was only just another character in her fucked up little show. She didn't care when I got doxxed and I had to leave my job. She didn't care when girlfriends or potential love interests broke up with me because of her. She didn't care when I was struggling, whether that was emotionally or financially or mentally. It was always only about her. And if it wasn't about her, she sure as made it about her.
I will say it. I had a crush on Alexis off and on throughout our whole friendship. And I've always been very upfront with that. But I'm able to admit it.
I'm sorry, but where and when did I ever say that I didn't like you back? I have quite literally shown screenshots in previous videos that stated that I was interested in pursuing something with you. And you claim that I'm downplaying all of this. How? Yes, I did say Cookiegate was unsolicited. Yes, it was, because the entire conversation that we were having when you were screen sharing your entire conversation with Erica to try to prove to me that you weren't talking about me was also unsolicited. I didn't ask for that. You did that on your own volition. So you can stop telling people that I'm trying to downplay what was going on between us. I'm not. If anybody is trying to downplay what was going on between us or our friendship in general, that's you. And the only reason why we didn't date, you can tell everybody it was a gut feeling, but you know that it's because I wouldn't let you push me around. Not only push me around, but have me be a yes man to everything that you say and do. I have never been that kind of a person, and I will never be that person. And I knew that you knew that. I also knew how sneaky and snaky and slimy you were in relationships, and why would I subject myself to that kind of behavior? Anyways, thanks for listening to me getting mad and sad and crying and talking about Amberlynn once again. Every single day, I'm still receiving an overwhelming amount of support. And I just wanted to thank you guys once again, because without you guys and your support, I really don't know how I would be okay. If there's any questions that you guys keep asking that I keep missing, please comment them under this video. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.